Hey there, I'm Mr. Terry, and I'm a high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher X video. All right, looks like we got some shenanigans here. Because you terminally online folks really love to rip on Eastern Europeans. It's a trend I've noticed for a while now. Because this video was recommended to me. It's called Eastern European Stereotypes Explained. This is from a channel called Living Ironically in Europe. And you guys are blowing up this video with views. Original video link is down below. Please support that and the channel. And if you like my video, give it a like, subscribe, and come back for some more fun like this. All right, let's get started. I've been talking about shenanigans while wearing my epically awesome Firewolf shirt. All right, Eastern European viewers, is this stuff correct or is it unfair? Let me know down in the comments.
Eastern Europe.
Oh my gosh, okay, I can't keep up with this. Oh.
A magical place where dreams, hopes, and aspirations go to die, and ugly British men go to get laid. Its exact location is a bit controversial.
Is that really a stereotype?
This group copes and pleads how they're Central Europe, but we all know everything east of Vienna is Russia in denial. Despite this,
I feel like Eastern Europe has become everything that was once part of the Soviet bloc of some kind, whether it's Warsaw Pact or whatever. So it's like East Germany, I guess Germany, wherever you want to call that. But yeah, basically he said east of Vienna. I feel like the Soviet Union had a lot to do with that and communism had a lot to do with that. Okay, but yeah, all right.
Even though Eastern Europe has played a crucial role in educating the masses on how not to organize their economies,
Wait, this lady is like, all right.
Crucial role in educating.
We've got no food in our in our grocery store, but even the food that's here, I can't even do this. Like, I know I'm hungry, but I'm not that hungry.
The masses on how not to organize their economies. Very few people know the accurate stereotypes from the region, and very often resort to depicting everyone and anyone from this region as Russians with.
Wait.
Often resort.
This car has two fronts to it. Eastern Europe, what are you doing?
Anyone from this region as Russians with slightly different variants.
Oh gosh, this is all the people. Look at all the people. Pause this if you need to see. Azerbaijani, he's basically just looks like Stalin. Uzbek's got like a Lenin thing going on. Kazakh looks like Russian Mao, and somehow Lithuanian looks like Wayne Rooney.
Variations. So, to correct this mistake, here are Eastern European stereotypes explained.
Oh no. Oh heck, this is how. What a busing system.
There's one country that constantly seems to stir the pot in Europe, then that is none other than Hungary.
Hungarians.
Throughout Europe, Hungary is a country that tends to have a reputation as a troublemaker when it comes to everything and anything political. The EU is voting to pass a new law that criminalizes chucking cats off bridges into a river.
Good.
Well, guess who's gonna veto that one? Who else but Hungary? As a people, though, the Hungarians.
Okay, if you guys know my community, if you've been in my community a while and you know me, you know I'm a dog guy, not a cat guy. But come on, they're against banning the abuse of cats.
Usually, stereotypes is being quite cold, reserved, apprehensive, and don't like to venture out of their own circle. Throughout the Balkans, they're not the most.
I feel like there's a lot of like current or a lot of things that are gonna go over my head. If you see me not reacting to something I should obviously have some reaction to, you better let me know. You're gonna have to help me in educating me on some of this stuff, okay? Some of the deep, Eastern Europe lore, I'm gonna need some help on. I got the history, a lot of the history covered, but okay, and there's some other stuff I know.
A different language other than Hungarian, because of which everyone and anyone makes fun of them for it.
Dude, Hungary peaked with the Magyars, huh?
The Hungarians are renowned for their pessimism.
Dude, that guy punched us.
No matter how good things are going, how nice something is, Hungarians will always find a reason to think it's not going to last, and everything will collapse into misery and suffering. Sort of like my last relationship. This is so prevalent throughout the Hungarian psyche that there is even a saying about this in Hungarian. Sírva vigod a magyar, which roughly translates to, the Hungarian is jolly while crying.
That seems so cynical and so like dark humor. By the way, I incorporate that with like Eastern Europe. I don't know if it's just how Eastern Europe has been in a tug of war between basically like the Russians and everyone in the West. And I guess coming from the South, from the Ottoman Empire, just like being in that tug of war, that you just develop this like dark, cynical sense of humor to basically cope with how traumatic the history has been of Eastern Europe. Am I wrong on that one?
Essentially, they're like a bunch of emos who instead of dressing in all black and having a questionable hairstyle, have to stick sour cream in everything they eat and speaking a language
was that
the
like
Martians from Mars Attacks.
Czechia,
If
heck
you've
yeah,
ever
let's
seen
go.
a man on a hot summer day strutting down the city, rocking the renowned socks and sandals combo, alongside with a white wife beater and a mullet, then my friend, you've encountered a Czech.
Czech, you got to get Prague, which seems like a sick, you know, sweet city. And then it's got to be beer, right? Like,
the
what
Slavic
else?
world, the Czechs are seen as the most composed of the bunch.
I want to go to Prague, by the way.
But we all know what goes on there.
Was that, wait, Zlaz,
composed of the bunch.
I can never say his name. The philosopher, is that the philosopher dude, Zlazoj or whatever? He's not Czech, though, right? Isn't he like Slovenian or something?
Maybe the Slovenians, but we all know what goes on there, so we don't count them. While other Slavs love to spend their time in bars and pubs drinking the most disgusting, revolting, gag reflex-inducing brandy or vodka their grandpa personally spent.
But I heard the beer is good
and ended up making in a tub.
So I just made friends with a Slovakian YouTuber, M. Laser, and he's from Slovakia, but he talks about how the Czechs have just much better beer.
Whose fumes blinded the entire village for 5 days.
We hung out last week.
Drma, to je domaća majku ti jebem.
Okay, I do gotta say, dude, Europe, the puppet thing is freaky. So my grandfather is Switzerland. He's passed away, but he used to have all these creepy doll carving things of these characters. And when I was little and I'd go to, you know, grandma, grandpa's house, that stuff was haunting to me. Like all this stuff.
Kad sam je peko cijela ulica halucinirala 3 dana od isparenja. 40 ljudi prijavilo policiji da je videlo boginju Šivu.
The Czechs instead like to drink good old beer.
I have a German accent, and so of course I love beer.
Living in such close proximity to the Germans made them stereotyped as the most functional among the Slavs.
By the way, Sudetenland, right? Sudetenland. Going back there. How do those, so Sudetenland is German, ethnically German parts of Czechoslovakia. How is that still feeling today? All right, are they pissed that the Anschluss ended?
Slavs, and the most stuck up as well. Many even just like to call them Slavic-speaking Germans. And if you're ever in Czechia, don't shy away from saying this to the locals. They'll absolutely adore you for it. If the Czechs are the Slavs who have their shit the
Poland's
most together,
wild.
then the Poles would be the most unhinged. Well, in the US, Poles are usually stereotyped as being slow and not having the best of brain function. In Europe, they are stereotyped as the most hyperactive, high-energy spastics in existence. Every time you log on the internet,
is that right?
you find some bizarre fever dream
They're the most hyper
on it, such as a homeless guy being spray-painted silver, a guy screaming at some poor lost animal in the city, or just simply annoying the tram driver.
They're just annoying? Is that their stereotype?
You just know it originated from Poland.
Now, okay, I usually forgive the Poles for everything because of your history of being violently torn between all kinds of different empires from the West and the East. I usually give them a shot, but if this behavior is continuing, how long can we give that pass to the Poles?
Besides operating on another plane of existence, the Poles are
just
also
walking my
stereotyped
capybaras
as
or whatever
being
they are.
religious.
Jesus,
Today,
no!
The country is one of the most Catholic countries in the world, and by far in Europe. As a result, the Poles tend to take...
The Poles had a John Paul. They had a pope. Literally had a pope.
Catholicism quite seriously. This essentially originates from Poland being
We've had Eastern European
annexed and
popes
divided amongst its neighbors. As such, the church was the mainstay of Polish language, tradition, heritage, culture, and literature. Because of this, the church came to play a big part of life for Poles, and as a result, helped in the creation of this stereotype.
They got a pope.
Now, you think that a group of countries that is located this far east on the continent would accept that they are Eastern Europe. But, no, we're not Eastern Europe, we're Northern Europe, we're Nordic, bro, please. But regardless of what their European pronouns are, one thing is for certain. Their food is a cardinal sin against humanity, and everything good and holy. If you want your plate to look like something that came out from the chumba...
This is what happens after, like, Soviet occupation. Your food gets ruined. Is that what's happening here? Okay, so the Latvians don't like being called Eastern Europeans. They want to be Northern Europeans. Okay, but you're not Scandinavian, so you can't get into that. Okay, you're like you want to just be called Nordic, but like no one really talks about that much. Like Latvia, who are you?
Bucket. The Baltic cuisine is the food for you. As a whole, the people are also known as professional Russia haters. Pray to God
they do
if
hate
you
Russia,
ever
man.
enter in a competition on hating
They
Russia,
hate
that your
Russians.
opponent isn't an Estonian. But considering the Russians more or less tried to wipe their entire culture and people off the face of the earth, it's kind of expected. Next.
Remember what happened in some of those Baltic states, right? You know, they hated Russia so bad, okay? They hated Russia so bad. Many of them allied with the Nazis. That's how bad they hated them.
Up, we have Moldova. Now, if you ever seen someone online describe themselves as Balkan /
I have no idea how to like characterize Moldovans
region
though.
without ever specifying from what country they're from exactly, then my friend, you've stumbled upon a Moldovan.
Country by Ukraine.
Moldovans are stereotyped as basically Russified Romanians.
Sax
Although they
pumping.
might speak Romanian, have the same culture as Romanians.
Okay,
share
so
the
they're more
same genes
Romanian.
As Romanians. If you're Romanian, good luck trying to decipher anything someone with a Chisinau accent said. They're also known
So
as
it's wait, are they saying like Moldova? Those are just like bad sounding Romanians? Is that the stereotype? They're just bad Romanians there?
Drinkers as well. And to be fair, if most of your country look like an endless doomer montage, you drink too. It also doesn't help that they're some of the best makers of wine, for
Ooh,
which
I
they
didn't
were
know
known
that.
throughout the Soviet Union.
Ukraine.
Depending on whether you're a batshit insane liberal
lady.
or a completely demented conservative, you either think that the Ukrainians are the most
Ukrainian identity
heroic
is also
heroes.
so many of these. I feel like so many of these countries, especially if you're very close to the border of Russia, your identity is just not Russian. Like yeah, that you're like it's a key part of your identity. So it's, you got like Latvians, of course, obviously not Russian, but like Ukraine, our identity is not Russian.
That are fighting to keep our democratic freedoms, and if you so much as say anything slightly critical of the country, you are a piece of shit, butt-dick that should go and lick the dirt off of Putin's boots and die! Or that they're the most corrupt Nazi sympathizers in the world, that the global elite, consisting of Klaus Schwab, Biden, Ursula von der Leyen...
It goes back to that same thing where it's like these countries hated the Russians so bad that so many of them collaborated with Nazi Germany. It happened all over the place. So I don't know what that says more about in all of this stuff, but yeah, these countries get thrown at that a lot. The sympathizer status.
And Taylor Swift is using as their pawns in an effort to achieve complete and utter world domination. And Zelensky himself is actually a shape-shifting fascist lizard man who eats U.S. gold reserves for breakfast.
Oh man, Ukrainian conspiracies are rough with the war.
If you haven't been lobotomized and take...
By the way, on a real note, if you want to learn more about Russian, Ukrainian kind of context and stuff, of course, with the war and things going on, multiple videos that have covered that. If I can remember, I'll try to link them as the video is ending, but check those out.
Political discussion out of the equation. Ukrainians are generally stereotyped as everyone else in Eastern Europe, being cold, living in gray Minecraft blocks, and eating everything and anything that's been stuffed in a barrel with vinegar for half of the year. Amongst the Western world, their women are known for their beauty and charm, therefore the country is a cesspool of wannabe alpha male passport bros that make YouTube videos on how to pick up a trad wife Ukrainian girl, and not one of those inky, stinky, dinky American girls that only know how to charge their phone, twerk, be bisexual, eat hot chip, and lie. Apparently they also...
He's getting all the modern people. He's at Hassan there, Destiny, all these modern political commentators,
again,
you know.
I would like to make this...
Okay, we had Russia there. Ukraine does struggle internally because Eastern Ukraine has a lot of pro-Russian citizens. And it's made that conflict so bad because of that division. It's like there's almost like two Ukraines in a lot of ways.
Very clear. I am gay.
In the past, your average Russian was stereotyped as a cold, goofy man with a thick accent that does stupid tundra, such as wrestling a bear, driving like a fucking idiot, drink copious amounts of vodka, and pass out in the most random of places. However, ever since Putin just had to go and conquer more territory, because God knows Russia being the largest country by landmass doesn't have enough of it, the Russians have started to be stereotyped as essentially an
How's that war gonna end?
nation that can't even conquer
It's obviously been so overshadowed with Israel,
let alone
Palestine.
bossing say. Brain-dead liberals stereotype them as the second coming of the Huns and as the scourge of the earth, while cognitively inhibited conservatives perceive them as some conservative value-fighting crusaders who are here to free the world from wokeism and slay the evil stinkman Zelensky, who has almost sucked
protesting
the
in
entire
Russia,
Federal Reserve dry. At the end of the day, if you have a pulse,
that's risky.
You probably have your own stereotype about
oh heck yeah, look at that dude.
In conclusion, and yeah, those would be some of the more popular stereotypes about these countries. If you enjoyed this video, as always, give it a like and smash that subscribe button. And if you really enjoyed it, become a member like these wonderful people.
VTuber? Is that his avatar?
Living ironically in Europe.
Supposed to be the cute Austrian girl. Okay, other ones. Why the Balkans are so poor and European stereotypes explain. Holy crap. All right, final thoughts to whatever I just watched here. I don't know what I watched there, but it was something in the mix of history and Zoomers, and something fell in there in between there. So, all right, well, what did you think about those stereotypes there? Are they accurate? I shout out to you, Eastern Europeans. You guys trash each other all the time. I hear it all the time, but thank you for your support, because a bunch of you come to my channel and I appreciate it so much. All right, this was wacky. Let's get on to the next one. All right, we'll see y'all next time. Bye.